arc map. As I said, we have total of six classes on GIS, cutting down the theory to only 1.5 to 2 classes maximum, and the rest will be on excuse me, will be on ArcMap. Okay, so I have agenda for you. So here is my agenda, and the agenda is available on D2L, agenda number 2. So we'll take care of all those items on my agenda, and let's get started, and let's start our ArcMap. So you guys remember that we go from all programs, we look at a folder called ArcGIS, and then basically we choose ArcMap. It's going to take a minute or so, so this will give you a chance to start your ArcMap if you want to follow me live. If you want to watch me and then do the training later on, that's all up to you. Okay, here we go. If you guys remember, when you start your ArcMap, you get this introductory window where if you wish to open an old, existing, recent project, you may do that right now. I will just go cancel because I'm going to start a brand new project. Also need to remind you that on the far right here, there is Arc Catalog, and we by now we know only one function of Arc Catalog where we can use to create a new folder connection. A folder connection is something very unique to ArcMap. It doesn't exist in other software. In other software, by default, you can read data from anywhere, like on your hard drive, CDE, CD-ROM, DVD, you can do that. However, in ArcMap, you need to create a folder connection, and that's what makes ArcMap different from other software. That's one thing. You can see here, you don't have to repeat the folder connection in the last class. What I did is I created folder connection to this place. You can see it's kind of one-time thing. If I go ahead and expand this folder, you will see in a few seconds, you will see the structure below this folder. When I mean structure, I say, you know, the subfolders and files. You can see here, looks like we have some 3 subfolders, like 1, 2, and 3. Today, we will work on the first and the second. Last class, we looked at the third one, GeoGratis data. And today, we will look at data to join and GeoBase data to merge. Okay, let's go ahead and click on data to join. When you expand data to join, so looks like we have here 2 files. A file ends with SHP, it means it's a shape file. Need to remind you from last class that shape files are one of the main GIS file format. It's the main guy because it contains geometry and it contains a reference to all the associated files. Also in the same folder, we have another file called population.xls. Okay, so which means that's a Microsoft Excel file. Let's go ahead and grab our shape file. You guys know how to do that. You simply click on the file name, you drag and drop into your map area. And here we go. We have here our shape file. And if I ask you, if I ask you, what do you think? Is that a shape file contains points or lines or polygons? Any idea? Points or lines or polygons?
Polygons?
Thank you, sir. That's correct. So yes, my shapefile contains polygons. Now, something that I discussed with you guys, and time now to see it in action. We said in our first GIS class, we said that in GIS, we simply deal with two types of data. One type of data is connected to location, geometry, as we call them spatial data. And the other type of data, has nothing to do with the geometry or the location or coordinates. It is an attribute. So we call them non-spatial data. I'm going to show you right now for the first time where can you see the non-spatial. So far on your map, I apologize, sorry, like I don't know, my voice is getting very rough. So on your map here, you see all the geometry. Yeah? Look at the bottom right corner, where my cursor is right now. You can read minus 70 and then 45. Those are simply coordinates. Okay, so those are coordinates. So what you see right now, those are the spatial data. That's your map. Now, where are the attributes? Where are the non-spatial data? Watch this. In order for you to explore the non-spatial data is you need to go to table of content, and then you click mark any of your shapefile. Luckily here we have only one shapefile. When you right click on the shapefile, last class we looked at zoom to layer, and that's sometimes very handy. It brings your layer very quickly into your zoom. However, there is one thing here called open attribute table. And look at the name, huh? Attribute, property, non-spatial. Those where you can see the non-spatial data. For example, if you remember, average age, average income, carbon monoxide emission, and those attributes are connected to the spatial entity. Okay, so let's go ahead and open attribute table. And that's what we have. Okay, that's what we have. And I know right now there is not much to see. I know that there's like, for example, things like for example, average age or average income, very, very basic. So what we have is we have an FID. So that's column number one. And you know what? I'm going to kind of change my terminology. Like what you see right now is very much like Excel. Would you agree? Would you agree like what you see right now is very much like Excel?
Yes.
Okay, so however, in Excel, we use the word column and row. In Excel, we use the word column and row. While when we deal about database, I'm not sure if any of you guys had any course in database. We changed terminology, we changed our dictionary, and we say the following. And instead of saying column, we say field. Instead of saying column, in database, we say field. And then for the rows in Excel, we say record. So I want you guys to start, getting used to those terminology. And instead of saying column and row, because those are generic, huh? Column and row, they can apply for matrices, can apply for Excel. However, the word record, and field, those, they are the equivalent, but in database. So remember what you see on my screen here is a database for your spatial entity. For example, you can read how many polygon we have. Look at the bottom right corner. Look at the bottom right corner. You can see 0 out of 59 selected. 0 out of 59. And what this means, it means we have total of 59 polygons. We agree already that my shapefile contains polygons, but how many? Okay, so if I close this one and I will show you my drawing again, my shapefile. Every one of these is an area, it's a polygon. How many polygons we have in total? We have 59. Now, I'll go back to my attribute table. Now we have total of 59. If I scroll down, you can see, do you read the last number on the bottom left? Can I get some help?
58.
58. And some of you will question, how come 59, 58? Here is the secret. We start counting from 0. On the top left, there is 0. So we go from 0 to 58. It means we have total of 59 polygon. Next is we have another field, another field which I'm selecting right now. It says shape. So this one shape here, it tells you polygon and everything is the same polygon. Number 3, we have another field called grid code. And the grid code, think about it as zip code, as a number that signifies this area. You guys know postal code, postal code and zip code in the States. So those are the grid code. And then finally, the last field is something called F area, which is the area of those polygons, the area of these polygons. So, you know, there are some control of your database here or your attribute table where, for example, you can click on the top left and you can see there are some control where you can do find and replace, just like Excel, find and replace. You can select by attribute. You can add fields, okay? If you remember Excel, we can add another column in Excel, call it column here, call it fields. And this field may contain something like, for example, average age or average income in this area. It's an attribute that simply characterizes this area or this polygon. Okay, great. Again, I'm not going to do that because typically, when we add more attributes or more fields to your database, we don't do that manually. So if you want to do it manually, what you have to do is you add fields, and what you do is you want to give it a name. For example, you want to say, for example, average age, okay? And so that's the name of the field. Then down there you need to say the type of your data. Only if you have done some programming, you will know what does it mean. Your data can be, not even programming, I'm sorry, I have to change that. Okay, so I made a mistake. Even in Excel, there is some, for every cell in Excel, you can define the type of the data that goes into the cell. Can I get someone to agree? Can I get someone to agree that in Excel, we can define the type of the data that fills this cell?
We agree.
Yes.
For example, date, time, percentage, you can control the type of the data that goes into this cell. Same thing here. So we assign the column. I'm not gonna say column anymore, So I'm gonna assign the field a name and then a type of data and then finally a precision. For example, here this one controls the type and the memory. Really has to do with the memory. So for example, short integer, it will use less memory, while long integer, it uses large memory. For example, I'm asking you, when we say average age, should I use long integer or should I use short integer? Again, I'm asking you, did you see anybody around you that is 200 years old?
No.
No, okay, so it doesn't, I mean, you can use long integer, but again, you're just wasting the memory of your computer, so you can use short integer, and then once you hit OK, I'm not gonna do that, but once you hit OK, it will simply add here one more field where you can manually add all the numbers yourself. Like for example, going to polygon number 0 and say, okay, the average age here is 65, and here, this is, for example, this is senior area, so this will be the average age, like let's say 70. And let's say this new community, so most young generation, they go there, so the average age is, let's say, 35, and so on and so forth. Okay, uh, just like Excel. However, I will not do that because that's not the norm. The norm is we simply acquire those extra attributes from some authority. For example, I can go to the city of Calgary and they have some like a census information where they can give it to me. And that's what we will do right now. I'm going to right now to go to my Explorer, and I will simply go to same where I have my data. Okay, so here we go. You can see here, this is cubic part, and you can see here is my shape file, but there are some other associated file with it. Now let's open population.xls. Okay, so I have Excel file, and this Excel file, it simply contains some data that I acquired, let's say from the city of Calgary, or maybe from Alberta, whatever. Okay, so there is must be some authority, they collected those non-spatial data. Remember, those are non-spatial. Those are number of population, okay? They are not geometry. They are not coordinates. They are not really angles. They are not any of that, which means those are non-spatial data. Now, really, how can I do that? Watch this. So right now, I have this my Excel file, and I'm going to minimize everything and just let you watch. So I'm going to go to here. I'm going to open my attribute table and then minimize it. Okay. Doesn't minimize. Okay. That's bad. So you can see here side by side. Side by side here, here on the left, I have on my ArcGIS, I have an existing attribute table. I have existing attribute table. Now I want to add more fields, okay? And remember, field, it means columns. Field means columns. And rows means record. So the record stays the same, doesn't change. However, I want to add more field, and I acquired one more field from, let's say, the city of Calgary. Can I do that? One way to do it is to do that manually by adding one more field into your arc map and then typing in all the numbers on the right side from the Excel. However, the software has a better way to do that. The software allows you to simply add more field to your existing attribute table from an external file. Okay. Now, before I do that and I show you how, let me agree with you. What if I remove the first column? You can see the first column here. It has a FID, and it goes from 0 to 58. And if I remove this column here, do you think I can successfully add this column to this field, to this existing attribute table? Please think about it. No. We're trying to add another like external Excel file to our existing database. I guess I heard it already. You're right 100%, because if we remove column A or field FID, we lose the association between my external file and my database. So what happens here is the software will simply go to, let's say, this column. How much is my FID? It's 1. So it's going to pick this number here and add it to where I have FID equal to 1. Remember this. I'm going to show you right now how to do that. Let's close our attribute table and watch this. In order for you to add more columns, and in general, it doesn't have to be one column. It can be 10 or 20 if you acquire so many attributes from, let's say, the city of Calgary, you can add them to your existing attribute table. How? Watch this. So you want to go to your table of content. You want to right click on your shapefile, and just below open attribute table, there is operation called joins and relates. So this operation that it simply adds more fields onto your existing attribute table, it has a name called join. Okay, so this join, what does it do? It adds more fields to your existing attribute table. However, there must be something in common between your external database in Excel file and the existing database in your ARC map. Let's do it. So again, one more time, you click on the table of content on the shapefile. You right click, you go to join and relates. So you go to join, and it's as simple as you have to fill few things. Number one, you need to simply add your Excel file, which is here. So all you have to do, you come to this browse, and you open the browse and simply you tell the software, you know what? Here is my Excel file that contains the data. You guys remember it was data to join and then it was Excel file. Watch this. So you can see my file called population.xls. Now I'm going to say add, and please watch what happens if I say add. When I say add, it simply opens for you. It opens for you another dialog box where, again, for some unknown reason, my software is kind of hanging. And what's supposed to happen right now is it's supposed to show you the workbook. Remember, in Excel, I'm going to open this one more time for you. In Excel, yes, we have one Excel file, but I'm asking you how many workbooks you can have here on the Excel. Can anybody tell me? Is it only one, or I can add as many workbook as I like? For example, watch this. I can come here, I click here, I add new sheets, and so on. Right? Would you agree?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so really what happens here is that I'm going to minimize this one. I don't know what's happening. Software is cranky. But really what happens here is that you right now you are the software is showing you all the workbook or the sheets under population. Okay, and remember, in my Excel file I have only one. Probably I can need to close it. Maybe that's the problem. So I'm going to close this one for now. I don't know if the software is going to be responsive. So if not, we'll just, I'll just, so here we go. Luckily, everything is okay right now. So you can see my Excel file is called population, and I have only one sheet called population. So what happens if my Excel file has 20 different sheets? Okay, 20 different sheets. Guess what? You will see all of them here, the 20 sheets, where you have to point to the sheet that has or contains your external columns or fields. Are you guys following so far? Are you following?
Yes.
Okay, let's hit add. Now, what happened here is that there is one thing left. There is one thing left. Yes, I know right now where can I read my data, but there is one little thing small left, which is the association. Remember, as I said, if I simply delete this column FID from my Excel file, there is no way for me to join this one to my database because this is creates the association. And that's what we do here. We go to this drop down menu and we say, okay, you know what? Use FID in my existing database and use this column here to do the association. Do you see it? Okay. Now let me show you the first row of your Excel file. It should contain the names of your fields. You can see here population and FID. I can make this one Tahir and then Hassan. So which means I'm joining this one and I'm adding the column Hassan based on Tahir. And there must be another Tahir into the existing database. Hopefully you guys understand the benefits of this FID, kind of common identifier, and it provides association between this file here and my existing attribute table. Now watch this. What you have to do next is you do something called the validate join, which is here. You just have to click on this validate join. And what it does, it simply goes and checks something for you. And if I move this one, probably you can see it in the back, huh? It will simply estimate all the name, find, yeah, we have the same names in all the columns. So it will do some check and it tells you, yes, you're right. It is going, I'm going to do that for you. If there is a mismatch, for example, in names or mismatch in number between the new Excel file and the existing attribute table, you will get here some errors, okay? Again, I already make sure that this not happening is because, watch this. Look at FID, it goes from 0 to 58, and that's exactly the same what's happening in my attribute table. Now time to hit OK.
Hey, Tahir.
Go ahead.
Quick question for the field number 3, choose the field in the table to base the join on. When I hit my drop down, there's nothing there. Could you repeat how to get the FID there?
you need to load your Excel file first. So
I did
I
that.
will go here and I will go to join and relates. So you need to bring in your Excel file first. Okay, so you're saying that what's the problem? Is that the problem or that's the problem?
No, I loaded in my file for number 2, and then for number 1, I choose FID, and for number 3, there's nothing there. It's just blank.
Can you meet me in the break? Because I'm gonna have a break after the join, and
Okay.
after the break, I can better look at your screen and maybe I solve it in 1 second. Right now, it's hard for me to visualize.
No
Just meet
problem.
me in the 10 minutes break, huh?
Yep.
Okay, so now let's look at what happens to my attribute table. Probably you guys can guess, huh? If I go right now to my attribute table, open it one more time, and you see what happens. You can see I have added 2 more fields, FID and population. And some of you will say, okay, wait, there are 2 FID. Can I simply get rid of one of them? Of course. Watch this. Same as Excel, you can hide any column you wish. The terminology here is called turn field off. In Excel called hide. You can hide column A or B or C in Excel. I'm gonna go here and turn off my column, and here we go. I have added my population column, and please think about population as attribute, as a new field. Okay, so right now for every one of those 59 polygons, I know the number of population in every one of these areas. Now, please think about it, huh? In GIS, we are mixing non-spatial, which is population, to the location. Okay, I'm gonna show you like right now before the break, I will show you one application to produce a nice, beautiful GIS map. So let me ask you, if you look at this map right now, is it a GIS map right now? Although we are in GIS software, but I'm asking you right now, if I add my north arrow and scale bar and all of that, and I create a picture of this thing, do you think this is a GIS map? Does it show you any non-spatial attribute on your map? Does it?
No.
No, it's just like, it's ugly, everything is same color. So you don't see, for example, where we have high density population or where we have low density population. So far, this is just a map. It shows you location and then angles and geometry, but it doesn't show you any non-spatial data. I'm going to show you right now how to create your first GIS map. Watch this. So right now I'm going to go to, if I click here, what happens? I already taught you this last time. If I click here and I click on this green and I go make it like, for example, this one here, what I'm doing exactly? I have changed all the symbology of all the polygons to be the same. Doesn't help much. That's not a really good idea. Now I'm going to show you right now what to do. If you want to go here, you can go to the name on the table of content, pick your shapefile, take a right click. And so far, I'm going to show you. So far, we looked at open attribute table. We looked at joins. We look at zoom to layer. We also look at remove. If you want to remove the entire layer from your project. However, this time we go down to properties. Get ready. Properties. Okay, now, so this is the properties of my shape file, and there are so many tabs. If you count them, probably like almost 10 tabs. And every tab, we have some sort of data and control. For example, right now, I have some information about the coordinate system, which you will learn with me way more details on Tuesday. Please never, ever miss Tuesday's session. If you love surveying, if you think that your career will be connected to surveying, and I promise you at some point of your life, your career will cross with surveying, you need to listen to me on Tuesday. Never miss it. You will learn a lot of information about coordinate systems. Okay. Now, again, you can see there is general, the selection, display, symbology. We want to be on symbology. Symbology, please. Okay. Now, We can change again. We can do it from here. We can change the symbology of my layer. And it says here single symbol. It means I'm going to assign all the features in this shapefile with the same symbol. That's something we don't want, huh? If you guys remember, we don't want to show the entire shape layer with the same symbol. Now, what to do? So if you go to quantities, if you click on features, so it gives you single symbol option. If you go to quantities, what happened here is that you have here some options. Watch this. So we're trying right now to show you what are the options. Number one, you must choose which field that you want to classify your shapefile based on. Look at this. I'm going to drop my window, and you can see here we have one. We can classify our shapefile entity based on grid code, based on area, or based on population. Which one you think will show you a good information? I'm asking you, should we classify or color our shapefile entities based on grid code or F area or population?
Population.
Thank you. Watch this. So I'm going to click on population. As soon as you click on population, the software will do on the background, will do some math. And what it does, it will simply find, it will scan through, watch this, huh? It will scan through this column and will find what is the minimum and what is the maximum. For computer, that's very easy, huh? So to find the minimum of the population and the maximum population, that's very easy. So that's something the software has done already. What is next? It will simply take the difference between your minimum and maximum and split them into 5 classes. Watch this. You can choose the number of classes as you wish. Huh? So 5 classes. And then it will create 5 ranges. So this number here is your minimum. Huh? That's the minimum, 323. And simply add half of the range. I'm not sure if you follow me. You know what? I probably can go here and I can show you here. For example, watch this. Let's say minimum is, let's say 2000, huh? And let's say maximum is 12,000. Now, what is the difference? The difference obviously is 10,000. And what if I have 5 classes? 5 classes, huh? So I selected 5 classes. You know what is the width of every class? So 10,000 divided by 5. So it means every class will be a width of 2,000. And now I can make 5 classes. Here we go. Here is my first one. So the first class, I'm going to start with the minimum and add 2,000. So this will go 2,000 to 4,000. Anybody can tell me what should be the next class? 4,000 to 6,000. And then the next one is 6,000 to 8,000. And then next one is 8,000 to 10,000. And then the last one is 10,000 to 12,000. And what happened is, you can see here, I kind of break down the range into 5 classes, and every class will be assigned a color. Watch this. So I go here, and you can see the software found the minimum, the maximum, split the range between the minimum and maximum into 5 classes, and you can change as much as you like. For example, 6, okay? And then the software classified your area. If your area, for example, is the population, population is 325. 325, which means it falls within the first class. So what it does, it gets this dark green. If your area is in between those final range, it will get red. And by the way, it's up to you. You can hear there are some options to choose the color ramp or color map. Some people, they use the same color but variable kind of intensity. Some people, they choose, again, that's only for presentation, okay? You can see here, I chose a different color ramp, and it goes from gray to red. You know what? Let's go ahead and hit OK and see the beauty. What do I get right now? You can see right now, I'm asking you, is that a GIS map right now? Right now, I'm asking you, is that a GIS map right now? 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 Is that a GIS map right now Take a moment and let me know what you see on my screen. Is that a GIS map right now, or it is not? Is difficult? For example, if I ask you, what does it mean the color green? Green, what does it mean? It means, look at the legend. It means in this area, the population is between this number and this number here on the table of content. You can see as soon as you classify your map, there is a little legend that will show in here, and simply it means, if I ask you here, what is the area that has the highest density? Highest density. Can anybody tell me where is the highest density?
The red.
The red one here. So which means you can see right now I'm connecting a non-spatial attribute to where it happens on my map. You get the idea of GIS? Is it getting any better? You're connecting a phenomena which is non-spatial to where they happen on the earth. Okay. Now, if you remember in the last class, we had an exercise where you need to create a map. And when we inserted our element, we didn't insert our legend. Okay? We never inserted a legend. And I said, it's not appropriate to do it right now. Watch this. I'm going to right now create my map. So I'm going to go to my layout view. Here is my map. You know what? I'm not going to bother much with the scale or the north arrow. That's not really my topic right now. I'm going to show you right now. What if I go and insert legend, Insert legend. If you go insert legend, and again, when you have time, you can play with these variables. But if I go next, it will simply insert a legend that simply explains what do these colors mean. Okay? Watch this. So here's my legend. I can place it here on my map. And right now I can say, you know what? When you see this gray, it means a slow intensity. When you see the red, it means high intensity. Okay. Let's look at the agenda and see if we're able to break right now. I think we should be able to break right now. Okay, I know it's kind of early. I know that 100% is still 10:38. However, it's a good point to break at. Okay, any question before we break? Any question before we break? Ryan, would you please meet me within this 10 minutes?
Yeah, I actually got it figured out. I just reopened it and redid it and it worked. So.
Okay, nice. I'm going to take a break. Any question before we break? Okay, so I'll see you guys in 10 minutes. We'll meet back here at 10:50, 10:50. Thank you.